Hi everybody, welcome to J&S Farms, and today I'm going to be talking about livestock guardian dogs. And I had several people ask questions about how I train my dogs and the different things that they do around here on our homestead. So I thought I would try and answer some of those to the best of my knowledge. I am by no means an expert on how to train a livestock guardian dog. I just have my way. My grandfather taught me how he raised his pups, so I do the same, and it works out really great for me. Everybody's homestead's different, and everybody has a different setup than I do. Everybody's homestead is unique. So you can kind of take from this, pick and choose whatever you would like to get out of this video. So. Anyway, that being said, I'm going to break this up into 3 different videos because I do have a few things I want to cover, and I want to make sure that I get everything said that I want to say. So, anyway, when you're considering getting a puppy and adding it to your homestead for a livestock guardian dog, there's a few things that you might want to consider before you do that. And one of the first things that you should probably ask yourself is, what do I want this dog to do? What is it that I need from this dog? If you're going to have small children, do I need the dog to, guard the kids while they're outside playing, and then, revert back to the livestock whenever they're done? Different things like that. I have one of my dogs does this, the other one does not. So, you just need to kind of know what it is that you want your dog to do. So, keep that in mind, and then I would, after you kind of figure out what it is you want the dog to do, go ahead and research all the breeds, because every breed's different. Everyone has kind of their niche as to what they're really good at, and they all have different temperaments and quirks. So, go ahead and research the breeds that you find. And then the next thing I would say you probably would want to do is consider how much time you're going to have to devote to training this puppy. Because training a livestock guardian dog is a commitment. They mentally don't really mature, out of the puppy stage is what I'm trying to say. They don't really mature until around 2 years of age. So you really have to kind of know how much time you're going to be able to devote to this puppy. Most livestock guardian dogs have the instinct bred into them, but you have to guide and train that and kind of mold it into what you need it for. Now, if you've ever worked with a livestock guardian dog, they do have a mind of their own. They are a little difficult to train sometimes. It just depends on the dog. And and if you already have a livestock guardian dog, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's see here. Some of the breeds you will need to consider the management of their hair or their fur. Some breeds do need regular maintenance done. My dogs, I just give them a haircut every spring, and we're good to go for the rest of the year. Now, that's not to say Mia, I'm sure you've seen her in a couple other videos. She's got the half Commodore. Well, her hair come into spring, when it's time to give her a haircut, she don't look so pretty. So, you need to keep that in mind, how much management you're going to want to do on their fur. So, okay. And then another thing you're going to want to consider is how you're going to house your puppy. Have the separate area for them so that you may continue their training. You want to work on their training while you're actually working with your livestock, and vice versa. So you want to have them have an area where they'll be safe and they can stay out of trouble when you're not working on training, or letting them have short visits to stay with your livestock unsupervised, but you don't really want to leave them unsupervised with your livestock when they're really young. So consider having a separate area ready for them whenever you do bring your puppy home. Okay, now, so you found the breed that you want, and you found a breeder, and they have a litter of pups that you can go look at. Now, I'm not a dog aficionado, but I do know that some of the personality traits that you see in puppies can kind of determine how they're going to be when they get older. So when you go look at pups, take a look at the parents. Observe how the parents greet you. Do they stand off? Do they bark at you? Then they come sniff you, and then you're okay. Are they working dogs? Are they doing what you should expect a working dog to do? Do they, stay with their flock and things like that? Are they working dogs? Because you really want, if you're going to want a true livestock guardian dog, you're going to want the lineage of your pup to be that of the livestock guardian dogs. You get, a line, not to say they're bad, but get a line that's been bred for show quality so many years. Sometimes they do have the brains bred out of them, and they aren't as good to guard your livestock. But that's not always the case, so just kind of keep in mind. And do they look healthy and well kept? Now, like I said, late spring, Mia does not look very pretty, but she does get her hair cut. So as long as they look nice and healthy, things like that. So keep that in mind. All right. And the pups, have they been raised among what they're going to be guarding or near, so that they are used to the animals that they will be guarding? And then, do they look healthy? You can tell a healthy puppy from a not healthy puppy. It's pretty obvious. And then look at the breeder. How long have they been breeding these dogs? How long have they been working with their livestock guardian dogs? Do they train their livestock guardian dogs to do different things? So you can ask them, several questions and kind of get a good feel for what their breeding program entails. So, okay, so you're there and you are looking at the pups. This is what I do whenever I go to pick out a pup. I just kneel down on the ground and I let the puppies come to me. And there are a few different kind of personality types that I've noticed. I'm going to go through them real quick here. Just observe. Do they run to you, jump all over you, lick you, happy, happy, happy? Do they bark and growl at you first and then come to greet you? Do they stay back? Do they study you and then eventually come to greet you? Do they stay back, stare you down and never come to see you, but they don't run away? They just stand there and you're there, I'm here, I'm good with that. That's that kind of puppy. And then, do they run and hide and want nothing to do with you? Those are kind of the personality traits I've seen of puppies of the livestock guardian breed. And each one will have its benefits, and each one kind of has its drawbacks too. So, anyway, so if your homestead, say you want a dog that's, your homestead has several visitors that come to see, your farm or your homestead. You're going to want a dog that's friendly, that greets your visitors, but you still want to maintain the dog to be a livestock guardian dog. This dog, as a puppy, is going to be the one that comes and greets you, jumps all over you, loves you, and it could possibly be the one that, barks and growls at you and then comes to meet you and is licking you all over. Those are kind of the personality traits that will work for a farm that is going to have a lot of visitors. And the dogs are okay with people being there. Okay, so the next thing, if you want a dog that is going to be a little standoffish around strangers and occasionally greet them after you've, you know, talked with the person after a while, and they get a sense of that person and then they come up to greet them. This is the way Jax is. Jax kind of stays back and kind of takes stock of that person, and then he will come to greet them. Mia is the first kind of dog. She will come up and say hi, 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 and greet everybody, but she still does a really good job with guarding the animals. So, let's see, I lost track of what I was saying. This kind of dog is going to be the puppy that is going to either, it's just going to sit there and kind of take stock of you and be like, okay, she's okay, I'm going to come greet her now. Or it may even be the puppy that's never comes and greets you. Be like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and stare at you. You've got your space, I've got mine. Those are the kind of personality types that you're going to get in that second dog, like Jax. He was, when I went to pick him out, that's what he just sat there. You have your space, I have mine, and that's how he turned out. He will eventually go up to people and let them pet him eventually. Okay, so, and the last thing, if you want your dog to just be strictly livestock guardian, stay with the animals, occasionally have something to do with you, and you are able to work with that dog when you need to, but that's it. You're going to want the puppy that stays back, doesn't want anything to do with you. You've got your space, I've got mine. And you're going to also want the other puppy that runs and hides and wants nothing to do with you. Those puppies will make your best, just leave me alone, I've got my goats, I'm happy kind of dog. So, and just because the puppy runs and hides does not mean that it is a coward. It's just, you're a new thing, you're scary, kind of thing. But those are the kind of personalities you want to look for in puppies when you're considering what you want for your livestock guardian dogs. So, like I said, I'm not an expert, but this is some behavior that I've noticed over the years and things like that. And my grandpa has helped me out with that. He used to have 200 head of sheep, so, and he had no less than 3 livestock guardian dogs at one time. So I kind of, over the years, learned to watch their behaviors and study kind of what I wanted in a livestock guardian dog. He also had all 3 types at one time. He had the one, his name was Shep. Grandpa was the only one that could get near him. He was the only one that could work with him. And then he had White Man, which was another dog. Anybody that was in his circle, he was okay with. But strangers, it depended on the person, but he would, eventually warm up to them. And then he had Bigfoot. And he was very social. He guarded, whenever us kids were there, he would come in the yard and guard us. When we left, he'd go back to the sheep and guard the sheep. So, just keep in mind what you want, and then go out and try and find the puppy that's going to work best for you. Now, I'm not saying that everything that I've said is going to be completely how everything's going to work out, but that's, just like I said, my observations. So, okay, so that's all I have for this video. I do have 2 more livestock guardian dog videos, and then the next one I'm going to talk about when you get your puppy home, what I do whenever I do bring the puppy home. And then the next one's going to be behaviors that you can expect from your livestock guardian dog. Because they are, some of them can be kind of quirky, I guess. They have their little things that most dogs don't do, but they still do. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I'm sorry it was such a long video. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. So you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye.